What are you waiting for? How are you writing your life story?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Okay, so I'm going to ask it again so that way she know, and I'm going to post it in there. Is what are you waiting for? And how are you writing your life story?
What am I waiting for?
And again, the viewing audience can respond. I know you have to type it, but that's okay too. We've had some great responses from people typing.
Sorry, Tronika had me crying.
You good? It's always one.
But, okay, what am I waiting for and how am I writing my life story? That's a good one because I actually just talked to my sister about this the other day. I think sometimes I tend to procrastinate, but after going through what I went through last year, I'm more set on accomplishing the goal. So at this point, I've just set aside time periods to write. Versus trying to do it all in one day or I'm going to say, I'm going to have my book finished by the end of June or whatever. Now I just take time to write it, and I feel like with me journaling and telling my story that way, it helps me better accomplish the goal in a better way. I had good success with The Storm Saved Me, even though I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do with the book. I had a lot of success with it, and I'm still trying to promote it and do things like that. So I don't think I'm waiting for anything, but at first I was kind of procrastinating to write my life story because there's other books I have in the works as well. But to write my life story, I was a little procrastinating. There was a little procrastination there.
Okay. Why do you think you procrastinated on those things?
Because that's a lot of information. I mean, The Storm Saved Me was just a little bit of information. Like, that was a snippet. That was me getting my feet wet in the water. Like, you know, you testing the waters out to see how what will happen. But now it's like, okay, God, I put this out there. Now God's like, okay, now I need for you to really put it out there. Like, I really need you to write like I know you can write and actually put it out there and not be afraid to put it out there. Because I was afraid to put The Storm Saved Me out there because it was my personal information. So now I can actually put it out there and be like, okay, God told me to do this, and just go from there and not worry about it, not think about it, not be like, oh my God, I need to do this day or whatever. Just let God take control of it because He gave me the idea and He gave me the message, and He's the one that has helped guide me through everything that I've been through in life. What? What?
Nothing. That's okay. Well, okay. Well, listen.
I didn't know what that meant.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think that is a great lesson because, I mean, who doesn't? I think there's like a statistic that says there's only 12% of the world who actually does something. And I heard this one quote the other day that talks about how, it's just that knowledge will never beat execution. And so to hear you say that, we all have things we can execute on.
Right.
We can feel like, and this is what I'll say too, and I'll kind of answer the question. So my response to the question will also respond to you. All right. And
that was a good question. I really like that question.
I have fallen into this myself, in which I would, I do a lot of personal development. Reading, some books on whatever the topic is that I may try to be learning at that time, or listening to an audio book, or listening to some YouTube stuff, and I came to the conclusion at some point in time that I was reading a specific book. I recommend it to any salesman. It's called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt. If you have not read it, you should read it, especially if you do any type of sales in any manner. Please go read the book. And I was listening to the book because I have an audio book. And I got to the point when I was listening to it, I asked myself, I said, why am I listening to this? Because I was like, it's not as though I don't know what to do, because I know what to do. I've had plenty of success in the past at various levels. So why is it that I feel like now, just by listening to this, I'm going to be successful? And that's a trap that I have fallen into a couple of times, and that so many people fall into, is that because you get the knowledge that things are just supposed to come.
Right.
But knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power.
Right.
And so when the question asks, who are you waiting for? I had to realize and constantly remind myself every day that I am who I am waiting for.
Right.
Because, when we talk about God, he already got everything planned out. He just really kind of wait for you to say, all right, I'm a do X, Y, and Z. That's if you know. If you don't know, then you got to go. That's kind of different where you have to go and proceed to ask questions. But for me and you, we know the things that we're supposed to do, or some of us, we know what we should be doing.
Right.
But it really is us blocking us. And through us blocking us, you also writing that story as well. When you look back, and I look back over some things that I wish I would have done that I should have had completed already, I can only look back and say, that was my fault that stuff didn't get done. If you say, man, it is only going to take me a couple minutes to do it, and a whole year passed by, and you look back and you're like, dang, well, you can't blame it on what you had going on at the time, because clearly it didn't stop you enough to kill you. You can't say that it was your friends because you don't talk to your friends all day. You could blame it on social media, but that's just a recognition thing that you have to do to see how, I'm still spending the same amount of time. What am I doing with it? Right. You only have to accept that responsibility for yourself. So I've had to recognize that it is really me who I am waiting for. I'm not looking for more information necessarily at this time. You can always take in more information.
Right.
But who am I waiting for? Nobody, because God has already, I believe God has already given me what I need to do and the ability to do it. And so to hear you say that, when we look at the grand scope of everybody, execution is always better than knowledge. We know the things we should do. Sometimes we just don't do it. I've heard, I was listening to Tony Robbins talk, and he said he doesn't understand the whole put the picture in front of you, the car you want. And he said that, and I was like, for years I've always heard that, but he said you can do that all day. That means nothing if you don't go and act. So action, they say faith without works is dead. You have to work towards the thing of your faith. It's the substance of things hoped for. There's some substance to it. There's some movement to it.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you hear you say that. And also, we want to go back up because I believe there was a comment that I don't see on mine, but I see it on yours.
Hello. Then Miss Phoenicia.
Yes, you was supposed to answer Miss Phoenicia.
I did. I responded to her.
Well, I don't see it right here. That's why.
I don't know why you can't see it. That's weird.
But go ahead and read it off if you don't mind. We want to read this comment. Thank you for sharing it, your perspective, and we appreciate that.
Yes, she stated, I've been waiting on myself. I procrastinate as well, but I've been accomplishing many goals once at a time and doing the same with journaling. I want to write an autobiography to help other women who have been through things I have, but I feel that no one would be interested or they would judge me. Sorry. She said, sorry it's so long. No, that's fine. That's a good response. And I felt... Can I say something?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I actually felt that way when I wrote my first book. Like, what are people going to say? Like, oh, they're going to be like, oh my God, she went through this, and oh my God, I feel sorry for her, whatever. But for me, it wasn't the thought of what were those people think. It was like, okay, God told me to do it, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put that information out there. And if somebody has something negative to say, then they have something negative to say. But I'm not writing the book for that person. I'm writing the book to encourage and motivate another woman that may have experienced similar trials in their life and be that person that kind of motivates them. So you would be doing the same thing.
And yeah, that's all you have to say. I have nothing to say to that.